All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So before we even hit, play on the division bell, we definitely have to, set the stage, because I mean this album, didn't just come out of nowhere. Based on a few facts that I pulled up, I mean this is 1994. I mean Pink Floyd, and at this point, the band, is in completely in a completely different place, than the classic era, most people, think of. I mean, no Roger Waters, which means this is David Gilmour, led, sort of version of Pink Floyd, alongside Nick Mason and Richard Wright, and that matters, because the energy, the writing, and the emotion of the album, comes from a very, very different mindset. This project, once again, based on a few facts that I pulled up, comes after, a momentary lapse, of reason, but I mean, from what I understand, this one, is way more focused and cohesive, and personal. And instead of being about big external concepts like the wall or dark side of the moon, this album zooms in on something way more human, communication, or the lack of it. We are talking misunderstandings, emotional distance, the relationships falling apart. I mean, things left unsaid. And even beyond relationships, and a lot of people say this album subtly reflects the internal tensions the internal tensions within the Pink Floyd itself. So going into this, personally, I am expecting I mean big theatrical storytelling, over the top, experimental chaos. I'm expecting atmosphere. I'm expecting emotion. I'm expecting reflection. And a lot of expressive guitar work from David Gilmour. And honestly, I mean I've heard people say this album is underrated. Some people say it's not the same without Roger Waters. Others say it's one of their most emotional works. And so me coming into this, I'm coming into this with an open mind, but I'm really really curious. So I'm looking at the track list here. This album comes with 11 songs, spans a little over an hour and 6 minutes. Looking at the titles, I think I've heard a couple of songs on here. I think I've heard High Hopes. Well, maybe I've heard Coming Back to Life, but I don't think I remember how it sounds. But yeah, I'm going in, with an open mind, coming to listen to this album, in its entirety, and it's definitely going to be a hell of a journey. So, I mean, let's let's go right, and let's not waste any more time. So, the Division Bell, Pink Floyd, first track, first song on the album, is titled Cluster One. Cluster One. Okay, let's take a listen. Do I hear footsteps? What's that? Hmm. Okay. All right. Hmm. Is this like the intro? Oh, wow. This is is this the intro? Well, we are like 4 minutes in already. We are still building up. Wow, loving the guitar. Loving the way it sounds. Wow. Guys, so that was 5 minutes and 55 seconds, and I don't know if this is an intro, but if it is, I have to say, I mean, it didn't really sound like an intro to me. I mean, it's sonic world building. I don't know if that makes sense. The guitars, use heavy delay and a bit of reverb, creating this liquid, drifting texture. There's no rhythm locking you in, which to me, makes it feel timeless. It's like you are entering a space where thoughts haven't fully formed yet. Emotionally, this song, this intro, feels like the moment before a conversation starts, or the calm before something important is said. This really this track really sets the album's core idea. I mean, communication doesn't always begin, with the words. I loved it. And to think that this was 5 minutes. Wow. I didn't even realize, how long, you know, um, this track, the first song was, but I loved it. I really loved it. Perfectly set the tone, for the rest of the album. So let me know what you guys think about this one down the comment section. We are moving on to the second song titled What Do You Want From Me? Let's go. Yeah. Okay, different. This is way different from, the Pink Floyd that I'm used to. David. Wow. He is locked in. Okay. He's on the vocals too. Sounds good. Really good. The vocals? Yeah. Whoa. What do you want from me? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow, guys. Yes. The second song, What Do You Want From Me? Now, they definitely dropped into something more grounded. I mean, blues influence, sort of groove. I mean, big bass line. David Gilmour's the guitar, has this biting, slightly, distorted, tone. I loved it. I mean, lyrically, this is confrontation, but not explosive, more restrained. Definitely feels like, someone saying, I am trying, but I don't know, what you expect from me. Listening to this song, what really, really stood out to me. I mean, I loved the column response feel between the vocals and the guitar. The guitar almost answers the vocal lines emotionally. This is frustration, guys. This is definitely frustration, but controlled, and that control makes it hit even harder. Let me know what you think about this one down the comment section, guys. Like I said from the beginning, this is definitely going to be a hell of a journey, and I'm here for it. Yeah, we're moving on to the third song, titled Poles Apart. Let's take a listen. Okay, this one is definitely layered. It's layered. I love it.
Did you know it was all going to go so wrong for you? And did you see?
Okay.
It was all going to be so right for me. Why did we tell you then you were always the golden boy then, and that you'd never lose the light in your eyes? Hey you, did you ever realize what you'd become?
Okay.
And did you see that it wasn't only me you were running from?
Wow.
Did you know all the time, but it never bothered you anyway? Leading the blind while I stared out the steel in your eyes.
Wow. Wow. Love this. Poles Apart. This song is 7 minutes, guys. Wow, I didn't even realize. Wow, this is so different.
I never thought that you'd lose that light in your eyes.
Wow, loving the guitar solo in there. Wow. Yeah. Wow. All right, guys. Yes. So that was the third song, Pose Apart. Guys, I didn't even realize the song was 7 minutes and 3 seconds. That was quite a long one. But I have to say that, I mean, right off the bat, this one is layered. This one is definitely layered, I have to say. Musically, I love how, it starts soft, and a bit reflective, gradually building into a more, expansive, emotional sound. I loved it. I mean, lyrically, personally, I feel like at this one, feels like, reflecting on, two different relationships, or people, drifting away. There's a storytelling quality here, almost like flipping through memories. Listening to this song, what I noticed, was the melodic transitions mirroring, emotional shifts. It also feels like, moving from nostalgia to acceptance. This track isn't angry. I feel like it's resigned. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, but that's just, what I think about it. But all the way through, I enjoyed the hell, out of listening to it. I mean, David Gilmour, as always, he did this thing, and I loved it. Yes, share your thoughts about this particular song down in the comment section, guys. We are moving on to the fourth song, titled Marooned. Yes, let's go. Okay. Wow. Guys, this sounds good. This sounds really good. David Gilmour is doing this thing on the guitar. Whoa. Whoa. Sounds absolutely amazing. Ooh. Yeah. Wow. Guys, I'm loving this. David Gilmour is doing his thing in there. Wow. Guys, I love this. Yeah. Wow. Guys, the guitar. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I love this. Ooh. Yeah, guys, this is nice. Yeah. Wow, guys. This is beautiful. Woo. Let's go. Wow. Wow. Guys. Whoa. Guys, I enjoyed every second listening to this one. Okay. All right, guys. So the fourth song, "Marooned," and wow. After listening to this one, I honestly have to say, this is where Pink Floyd. I feel like they prove they don't need lyrics. Musically, this one is slow. It's I mean, it has no spacious arrangement, and I love that. I mean, I love the fact that this song is guitar drenched in delay, bending notes, like a human voice. The phrasing of the guitar is everything. I mean, David Gilmour really went in, and wow. I have no words to actually describe how I'm feeling right now. I mean, it felt like it's not just notes. I mean, it's pauses. It's bends. It's sustained. Like breathing. Emotionally, I love the isolation. I love the fact that this song has a bit of reflection in there. It has an acceptance of being alone. I mean, you are not just hearing a solo. You are hearing a conversation with yourself, and this is a 10 out of 10 for me, man. I don't even know what to say anymore, but I loved it. Really loved listening to this one. So guys, now share your thoughts about this one. Do you think this is like a the best guitar solo you've ever heard? Please share your thoughts about it. We're moving on to the fifth song, titled "A Great Day for Freedom." Yeah, so the fourth song, Marooned, runs into this song. So let's take a listen, guys. Yeah.
On the day the wall came down, they threw the locks onto the ground, and with glasses high, we raised a cry for freedom had arrived. On the day the wall came down, the ship of fools had finally run aground. Promises lit up the night like paper doves in flight. I dreamed you had left my side.
Okay.
No warmth, not even pride
Ooh.
remained. Even though you needed me, it was clear that I could not do a thing for you. Now life devalues day by day.
Okay.
As friends and neighbors turn away, and there's a change that even with regret cannot be undone. Now frontiers shift like desert sands.
Okay.
While nations wash their bloodied hands
Ooh.
of loyalty, of history in shades of gray.
Shades of Grey.
I want to the silver drums, the music played, the morning sun screaming. I turned and I looked at you.
Okay.
Oh, like a bitter residue slipped away, slipped away.
Yeah. I expected this. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay, guys. So that was the fifth song, "A Great Day for Freedom." After listening to this one, is subtle, but powerful. Musically, I love how it started restrained, gradually building into a more, expressive, sort of climax. The chord progressions, feel hopeful, but there is also a bit of the tension underneath. It's like, freedom that doesn't, fully feel free. Yeah, listening to this song, what stood out to me, I definitely love the dynamic growth. It doesn't rush, its emotional payoff. David Gilmour's solo, towards the end, felt like, release after, pressure. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, this track definitely goes in, it captures the idea that big changes in the world don't always feel simple or positive. Don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, exactly how I feel about the song. I loved it. Yeah, so far so good. I'm loving the album. Share your thoughts about this particular song down in the comment section. Yes, we're moving on to the said song titled Wearing the Inside Out. Let's go. Is that a saxophone? Yeah.
From morning to night, I stayed out of sight. Didn't recognize I'd become no more than alive. I barely survived. In a word, overrun. Won't hear a sound
Ooh.
from my mouth. I've spent too long on the inside out.
Yeah, we're in the inside out.
My skin is cold to the human touch. This bleeding heart's not beating much. I murmured a vow of silence, and now I don't even hear when I think aloud. Extinguished by light, I turn on the night where it's darkness with an empty smile.
Wow.
I'm creeping back to life.
Creeping back to life.
System all awry. I'm wearing the inside out.
Wow.
Look at him now. He's paler somehow. But he's coming around.
Wow.
He's starting to choke. It's been so long since he's
Loving the backup vocals.
well, he can have the words right from my mouth. And with these words, I can see Just give it time,
Just give it time.
then speak my name. Now we can hear ourselves again. I'm holding out for the day when all the clouds have blown away. I'm with you now, can speak your name. Now we can hear ourselves again.
Ourselves again. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh man. All right, guys. So that was the Sith song titled "Wearing the Inside Out." This track really, really feels different, and I feel like that's intentional. I mean, I love the slower tempo, more introspective tone. I mean, vocals definitely feel fragile and almost hesitant. I love the fact that this song, it sounds like someone who doesn't usually speak finally opening up. The instrumentation is supportive, not dominant. I mean, soft keyboards, smooth bass. I mean, subtle guitar textures. Guys, I love that. I mean, emotionally, this song is vulnerable. I mean, it's vulnerable. Difficulty expressing emotions. This might be one of my I feel like this might be one of the most human moments on this particular album. Yes, I don't know about you, but that is exactly what I think. But let me know, share your thoughts about this one down in the comment section. But so far so good. I'm loving this album. I really all the songs on here, I feel like they bang. Yeah. So far so good. We're moving on to the seventh song titled "Take It Back." Let's go. Ooh. Wow. Wow. Okay.
She might take
Ooh,
it
nice. This is nice.
someday. So I spy on her, I lie to her, I make promises I cannot keep. I hear her laughter rising from the deep.
Wow.
And make her prove her love for me. I take all that I can take. I push her to the limit to see if she will break. She might take it back.
Yeah.
Could take
Guys, I love this song.
it back someday.
Wow. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I have seen the warnings screaming from all sides, and it's easy to ignore them.
Yeah.
God knows I've tried. All of this temptation, you know, it turned my faith to lies, till I couldn't see the danger or hear the rising tide. She could take it back. She will take it back someday.
Yeah. Ooh. Take it back someday.
She can take it back. She will take it back someday.
Someday. Wow.
She will take it back. She will take it back someday.
Woo. Beautiful. Beautiful, guys. I love this one. All right, guys. The seventh song, "Take It Back." Wow, I loved it. I mean, right off the bat, I really, really enjoyed listening to this one. This track, has a more, immediate, sort of feel. Musically, I loved the strong rhythm. The clear structure. I mean, the slightly more accessible sound. But underneath that, it's about reclaiming something lost, time, identity, or a bit of control. Listening to this song, what I noticed, was the contrast between the catchy rhythm and the reflective, tone. Definitely feels like movement, like trying to move forward. Yeah, this is one of those songs where you are nodding, your head, but also thinking deeply. Yeah, I love it, guys. Definitely going to, you know. Be one of my favorite songs off of this album. Yes, and I'll definitely be adding it to my playlist. Guys, we're moving on to the eighth song titled Coming Back to Life. Let's go. Ooh. Wow. Ooh, guys, sounds so good.
Where were you
Okay.
when I
Yeah.
was burned and broken? While the days slip by from my window, watching. And where were you when I was hurt and I was helpless? 'Cause the things you say and the things you do surround me. While you were hanging yourself on someone else's words, dying to believe in what you heard, I was staring straight into the shining sun.
Okay. Yeah.
Lost in thought and lost in time, while the seeds of life and the seeds of change were planted outside. The rain fell dark and slow, while I pondered on this dangerous but irresistible pastime. I took a heavenly ride through our silence. I knew the moment had arrived, the killing the past, coming back to life.
Coming back to life. Yeah. Love this.
took a heavenly ride through our silence. I knew the waiting had begun, headed straight into the shining
Wow. 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 Yeah. Coming back to life, guys. The eighth song on this album. Really, really enjoyed listening to this one as well. I mean, this is one of the emotional peaks of the album. In my opinion. I mean, musically clean. Shimmering guitar tones. Gradual build. Into that powerful solo by David Gilmour. The solo here, is not just flashy. I mean, it's expressive and precise. Yeah. Emotionally, it's about recovery. It's about rediscovery. Emotional awakening, more or less. I mean, it definitely feels like after everything, you are finally starting to feel like yourself all over again. Don't know if that makes sense, but that is how I felt listening to this song. But the guitar solo was definitely the highlight for me, guys. I'm pretty sure it's the highlight for most of you guys that have listened to this song. I loved it. I really, really loved it. I'll definitely give this one like a hard 9.5 out of 10. Yes, but that's just me. Let me know what you think about this one down the comments section. We're moving on to the ninth song, titled Keep Talking. Let's go. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
For millions of years, mankind lived just like the animals. Then something happened, which unleashed the power of our imagination. We learned to talk.
There's silence surrounding me. I can't seem to think straight. I sit in the corner, and no one can bother me. I think I should speak now. I can't seem to speak now. My words won't come out right. I feel come drowning.
Whoa.
What are you feeling? I'm feeling weak now. Why won't you talk?
Okay.
Can't show my weakness.
I'll show my weakness.
I sometimes wonder,
What are you thinking?
where do we go from here?
What are you feeling? It doesn't have to be like this. All we need to do is make sure we keep
Hey.
talking.
Wow. Ooh, yeah. Why don't you talk?
I'm drowning.
Like I'm drowning.
No, I can't breathe now.
What are you thinking?
We're going nowhere.
What are you feeling?
We're going nowhere.
Why won't you talk to me? You never talk to me. What are you thinking? Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
It doesn't have to be like this.
Yeah.
All we need to do is make sure we keep talking.
Okay. Wow. Okay, guys. So that was the ninth song titled "Keep Talking." Listening to this song, I feel like this track, leans into the album's a main theme more directly. Musically, I love the groove driven vibe. I also love the repetitive almost hypnotic structure. I mean, the spoken voice definitely added something unique. It grounds the song in a real world communication struggles. Listening to this song, what stood out to me is the mechanical rhythm, versus the human message. I mean, this song really feels intentional, like communication, in a modern disconnected world. Yeah, this track is simple in structure, but deep in meaning, in my opinion. Yeah, let me know what you think about this one down in the comment section. We're moving on to the 10th song, Lost for words. Let's go. Wow. Wow, guys, this sounds good. It really, really sounds good.
I was spending my time in the doldrums. I was caught in a cauldron of hate. I felt persecuted and paralyzed. I thought that everything else would just wait. While you are wasting your time on your enemies, engulfed in a fever of spite. Beyond your tunnel vision, reality fades like shadows into the night. To martyr yourself to caution is not gonna help at all, because there'll be no safety in numbers when the right one walks out of the door.
Okay. Slate clean.
Tell me to please go fuck myself. You know you just can't win.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, guys. So that was the 10th song titled "Lost for Words." Yes. I have to say, after listening to this one, I feel like this one feels very, very personal. Musically, I love the fact that it's acoustic driven, straightforward, almost straight back. I mean, that simplicity definitely makes the message, hit harder. Emotionally, this one it feels like disappointment. Feels like acceptance. Choosing silence over conflict. It feels like I could say everything I feel, but I won't. This is one of the most direct and honest songs on the album, in my opinion, guys. I really, really loved it. The instrumentation, the acoustic vibe, everything. Was fire. Yeah. So, exactly what I think. Let me know what you guys think about this one down in the comment section. So go to the final song, High Hopes. Yes, this I've heard before. This song, spans a little over 8 minutes, so we better strap in. Let's go. Whoa, what's that? Yeah. Started the Vision Bell.
Of the place we lived when we were young,
Yeah.
in a world of magnets and miracles. Our thoughts strayed constantly and without boundary. The ringing of the division bell had begun. Along the long road
Wow.
and on down the causeway, do they still meet there by the cut? There was a ragged band that followed in our footsteps, running before time took our dreams away,
Yeah.
leaving the myriad small creatures trying to tie us to the ground, to a life consumed by slow decay. The grass was green.
Yeah. Gas is greener.
The light was brighter.
Light was brighter.
With friends around us. The nights of wonder.
Yeah.
Looking beyond the embers of bridges glowing behind us, to a glimpse of how green it was on the other side. Steps taken forward,
Yeah.
walking back again, dragged by the force of some inner tide. At a higher altitude, the flag unfurled, we reached the dizzy heights of that dreamed of world.
Ooh. Yeah. Love that. beautiful.
Encumbered forever by desire and ambition, there's a hunger still unsatisfied. Our weary eyes still stray to the horizon. Go down this road we've been so many times. The grass was greener, the light was brighter,
Life was brighter.
the taste was sweeter, the nights of wonder, with friends surrounded, the dawn mist glowing, the water flowing, the endless river, forever and ever.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'm loving that guitar solo. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that bell. The division bell, indeed. Okay. I mean, we still have a few seconds left, so I'm expecting something. Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah, so that was the final song off of this album, High Hopes. This one, to me, is the emotional and thematic climax of the entire album. Musically, I mean, I love the slow build. I love the the rich instrumentation. I love the iconic, closing guitar solo. That was just out of this world. The bell sounds, at the beginning and the end, guys. Symbolic, circular, like time repeating. Emotionally, this song is has that nostalgia, vibe. It's reflective, it's more about acceptance of change. It feels like, looking back, on your life and realizing, you can't really go back, but you understand it now. That final solo, guys, was out of this world for me. I mean, that's not just music, that's closure. The perfect closure, in my opinion. Guys, so now that we have sat, with this album, through and through, from beginning to end. I mean, my first thought, after finishing this album, I mean, this doesn't feel like an album, that's trying to, impress you. It definitely feels like an album, that's trying to, talk to you quietly, talk to you honestly, and sometimes painfully. By the time, High Hopes, ends, you don't feel hyped, you feel reflective, almost like, you just finished a long, meaningful conversation. At its core, I feel like this album, The Division Bell, is all about communication, and a bit of, miscommunication. Every single track, circles back, to this idea. I mean, people, struggling to express themselves or choosing not to. For the, emotional distance, I feel like this album, is not, explosive conflicts, but, I mean, quiet drifting apart. This isn't, youthful, rebellion. This is looking back, processing and understanding. I mean, compared to, earlier, Pink Floyd albums, this one, feels less confrontational and more introspective. For the sound, the production, I mean, the musical analysis, this album, I love the fact that, it isn't trying to overwhelm you with experimentation. Instead, I love the fact that it has wide, spacious mixes. I love the slow builds. I mean, I love the fact that they let the notes breathe. The silence between sounds definitely matters just as much as I mean, the sounds themselves. Yeah, David Gilmour's guitar. I mean, that's like the emotional narrator. I mean, without Roger Waters driving the lyrical edge, I feel like David Gilmour's guitar became the voice of the album. And what's crazy is his solos aren't technical flexes. They are emotional statements, in my opinion. Examples, we have this song Marooned, happens to be one of my favorite on this album. Marooned, is all about isolation. And then we have Coming Back to Life, being about healing. And then the final song, High Hopes, which is about nostalgia and closure. The guitar doesn't decorate the songs, it actually explains them. Yeah. We have Nick Mason. Nick Mason, and the overall rhythm approach here are minimal. They are supportive, never overpowering. This definitely keeps the focus on the emotion, the space, and then the melody. Richard Wright, yes, I mean, this man's presence definitely added soul. The keyboards, and the textures, they were warm, they were atmospheric, they were slightly melancholic. They fill the emotional gaps between the guitar and the vocals. You can definitely feel that this is a more balanced band effort than the previous albums. Yeah. For the lyrical themes of this album, I feel like the lyrics, based on a few facts, many of them, co-written by Polly Sampson. Like I said, this is like based on a few facts that I pulled up. The lyrics are more personal and relational. They are less abstract than classic Pink Floyd. I mean, I love the fact that they are focused on everyday emotional realities. Yes. I also love the the recurring ideas. I mean, what do we say when things fall apart? Why do we stop communicating? Can we just fix what's broken, or is it too late? I mean, the writing is simpler, but also more direct and human. The strengths of this album, guys, I definitely love the emotional consistency. I mean, the album stays locked into its themes, without feeling repetitive. I mean, album is cohesive. Definitely has a cohesive, listening experience. I feel like everything, flows. No track, fell out of place. I love the fact that this album, has elite level guitar work. Some of David Gilmour's most expressive, guitar playing ever, in my opinion. I love the fact that this album has a replay value. I mean, grows over time, in my opinion. I mean, this is not a one listen album, in my opinion. I mean, it definitely gets better the more you sit with it. Yeah, those are the strengths. For the if I'm to criticize this album, I definitely have to be honest. This album isn't perfect. Less lyrical bite. Without Roger Waters, I mean, the lyrics lack that sharp, confrontational edge. I also feel like the album has lower intensity. I mean, if you're expecting big, dramatic peaks like The Wall, you won't get that here, in my opinion. I mean, and then some tracks blend together. I mean, because of the consistent tone, certain moments doesn't stand out immediately. But here's the thing: those weaknesses are also part of the album's identity, in my opinion. Yeah. So where does this album sit in Pink Floyd's in the catalog? I mean, this is not The Dark Side of the Moon. This is not Wish You Were Here. This is not The Wall. It's something different. This is mature Pink Floyd. It's reflective, Pink Floyd. I mean, human Pink Floyd definitely feels like the closing chapter, the quiet after the storm. The band, looking inward, instead of outward. Yeah. So for the emotional impact, I have to say that this album, doesn't, hit you, all at once. It's more like, a slow realization, a lingering sort of feeling, something that stays with you after, it ends. Especially, with the last song, High Hopes. That track alone feels like a goodbye, not just to an era, but, to a mindset. Yeah. So for my final verdict, I'll definitely rate this album, a hard 8.5 out of 10. I have to say this is not their most iconic, not their most groundbreaking, but easily one of their most emotionally honest and sonically immersive albums, that I have personally listened to. So for my final take, the division bell, is what happens when the noise fades, the conflict settles. And all that's left is reflection. It's not, trying to, change the world. It's definitely trying to understand it and the people in it. Yeah. All right. Now I really, really need your take. Is this album, The Division Bell, underrated, or properly rated? Do you prefer, this era of Pink Floyd or the Roger Waters era? And I mean, be real. Where does this song, High Hopes, rank for you? All time. Drop it in the comments. I'll definitely be reading them and replying them. Yes. Wow. We are done. We are done with this album. So let me know. Let me know what album you would like for me to react to next. I'll be so glad to hear and do just that. If you tuned in, if you stuck with me to end of the video, you're loved. You're very much appreciated on here. My name is Philip, and on to the next video reaction. Take care. Stay safe. Peace out.